Hey fam, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Huguette.
Sorry it took a while to get another video up. Yeah, we taking care of family, and we also had a death in the family. A good close friend of ours for over 45 years passed away.
Yeah, so we've been busy,
Yeah.
very busy, but we're back for a while. Just peeping in to say hello and let you guys know that we appreciate you so very much. And your comments are invaluable. We
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate that. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about our life in the Gambia. Um,
Yeah. This. To be honest, this is a video. We really been a little hesitant. You
a
say
little hesitant to make.
to me.
Let me just say, I love the Gambia. I fell in love with it the very first time we went there in oof, in 2022.
2022.
2022.
Mm-hmm. We
We
spent
just
Christmas and New
right,
Year's there, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just went on vacation for Christmas, and just fell in love with it. The people are awesome. The place is really nice, and it's very inexpensive to
Mm-hmm.
live there.
Yeah.
So we decided to live there. It had just a really good vibe. So we moved there. Well, we went back to spend 6 months there, bought some land and so forth. Um, Started some businesses. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was a good experience. We okay, so it was good experience. All right. Um, it
Because
as
you
it
can
went
learn, because you can
on.
learn something from the bad also.
Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. So as we went on, things started taking a turn for the not so good in for one of the businesses, and we actually had to close that one down.
Yeah. We had to close it down, sell the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a water sports business we opened up
Yes.
with a young kid, and he reminded me of our son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kente. It was
Don't
called
say
Kente.
names.
Yeah, I'm gonna say his name. It was called Kente Water Sports, and it.
It could have been an
Oh.
awesome opportunity for both.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are a little bit on the greedy side and they want everything right there and then. So that did not work out. So anyway, moving on, we decided to put the other business, which is with a really awesome young man, put that one on hold for a while. And then we
Yeah.
had a family emergency. We had to come back to the States. So that's still on hold. And we intend to get back to that eventually.
I don't.
Um, we'll
I
see.
don't
We'll
know.
we'll see. We'll
Let's
see.
see. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We probably
we'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah, because he's a cool guy. It was real estate. We have some land and we was going to
Yeah,
develop it,
yeah.
and really
And
get going.
right, so that's still in the works. But for right now on hold because, like I said, we're back in the States. With my dad not doing so well. So in any case, we decided to. So anyway, we're talking about the Gambia. So the Gambia, it's amazing, very inexpensive to live, very helpful people,
Oh yeah, the
and
people
that's
are lovely.
very
Yeah,
yes, and very safe. We feel free walking around, moving around
absolutely,
at day or
absolutely.
night. Um, there is a little bit of you have to be firm. You have to know. You have to do your research before you go. You have to know the prices of things. All right. And I thank all of the YouTubers who have given so much good information in the past, because that's what we went on. Okay. So basically, they say, okay, a half a kilo of peppers is whatever. When I go to the store, I'm sorry, to the market, because that's where we shop a lot at the local market, and because they see me, they know I'm not from there. Of course, they always try to charge you a whole lot more. But when I tell them, no, charge me what you charge the Gambians. I am a Gambian. Let's go. And they simmer down and they give you. You can barter back and forth and get good deals. So it's not it's easy to fit in and
It
just
is.
right
Yeah,
and
it
get good
is.
deals
It
and stuff.
is. It is.
So these are the good things. These are the things we like about it. Prices are low. It's safe. People are very friendly, very helpful. I remember one time when my husband, when we first got there, my husband passed the where we lived, and he got a little turned around, asked for help, someone almost walked him all the way to the door.
Absolutely.
You know, they walked him to where he realized where he was, and it's like, okay, I got it. But people do that. People do that. I remember there was another time. Remember with the transportation where you tell about that if you want.
When he tried to overcharge us.
Yes.
It was. We got on the little tuk-tuk, the
I
little
love the
trike.
tuk-tuks.
Yeah,
Yes.
she loved it. We got on one of them and he dropped us off, and he was like, he charged us. I think he wanted. He was like, it was $50 when it actually was supposed to be $20 for both of us.
And we knew because we've traveled that route many times before.
Yeah.
Not with him, but with others. So we knew.
We knew. And he was like, oh, it's $50. And he was arguing. I'm like, nah, it's only 20. And this lady stepped in and the lady said, they right, it's only 20. And I handed him and he handed his hand. He put his hand out. I gave him the 20 and he took off and the lady jumped in there and it was like, yeah, you know what it's supposed
better.
to. You know better
acting
than
up. And this was a local lady. There was another incident where we took a tuk-tuk. I love the tuk-tuks because they go slow so I can see everything. And the breeze, and I love it. I like that better than the taxis, actually. Depending on how far I have to go. But I remember we were going a good distance.
It wasn't that far. We were heading to the beach that day to another hotel to check out this other hotel where we was going to set up some more of the water sport business
Exactly.
And we got there and he was ready to leave and he was like, and I was like, how much? He was like, $350. I'm like,
way too much.
$350. This is only $125. And he was like, well, no, it's $350. It's $350. And then some people heard he and I arguing, and they came by and they were like, well, did you all agree on a price at the beginning? I was like, no, and that's the mistake right there. You got to agree on a price before you get there. Because if not, then you got issues. And the guy was like, y'all need to work it out.
And we learned that lesson because from then on, we always ask before we jump in the vehicle how much, because we know how much it's supposed to be. So we just assume that they will be, honest. And most people are, but some people aren't. So it's better to set that before you get in. But go ahead.
So some of the guys on the beach heard us arguing. They came running and we worked it out. And at the end, I ended up giving him $125. He's what I told him it was, and he took it. We shook hands, and he went about his business.
But can I just interject? What I really liked was the people who came to aid were locals. But because they were locals, they did not just take the side of their local person.
They did.
They were very fair. You know, so
to both of us.
To both, So we really feel in the Gambia, you don't feel like a foreigner. You feel like you belong. I did.
Yeah, you feel like you belong.
Because the things that they did, the being, how should I put this nicely? Trying to rip us off or what have you, they do that to everybody. It's not just because you are local. Right, you're not a local.
If even their own people, if they from overseas, they come back, they're going to do that to you.
And we heard some stories.
Yeah, we heard
but that's
some
a story
stories.
For another day.
No, we should tell you all some of these stories. We need to tell them some of these stories.
Yeah.
You guys need to be careful when you go there.
Yes.
Especially
Don't put your guard down.
Don't put your guard down. And my advice is, I'm gonna give you a couple of my advice, right? Take it as you please. Do not go there and open a business with someone from the Gambia.
And can I just say before you continue, it seems like a really good idea.
Right.
For us, it seemed like a really good idea for two reasons. Number one, they're local, so they know the ins and outs better than you do. Okay. So and most importantly, we're helping somebody else. Okay, so both of us can grow together. And
we were you helped to employ other people because we had 5 guys employed with us.
Exactly. So it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. At least
it seems like a good thing, but then when you do it, I'll let you continue.
When you do it, it turns out to a nightmare.
But that's the situation.
And some people, I'm gonna be honest, we had a few people that end up being murdered. Okay. 2 of them end up being murdered because they came over to open a business and they got murdered. Now, I know a lot of people, people get murdered all the time in the U.S. That's irrelevant to this situation. No innocent person should be murdered, okay?
Especially coming to help.
It doesn't matter if they weren't coming to help, just say they came to visit, they shouldn't be murdered. Because I know some of us, I hate to hear someone's on here say, well, you get murdered all the time in the U.S. Bruh, one person being murdered, innocent person being murdered, is too many.
Exactly.
Okay? So let's not use that as an excuse for people being murdered.
Yeah. And can I just say, it's really sad because like I said, we met a lot of very nice people there. And I kept telling people, even like, some of our friends, they had stores and stuff. And I kept telling them, a lot of people from the diasporas will come. A lot of people will come because people are looking for, and it's a different lifestyle. It really is. And it's simple. It's whatever you make it. Okay. You can choose to make it whatever you want. And I knew that a lot of people from the diaspora would come, to set up shop. And of course, if we come, we make it better for everyone, not just for ourselves, for the locals as well. And I kept saying that. And I remember one time, this one lady, she said she has a stall. She says she kept seeing a lot of what looked like Americans passing by, and she's like, "What's going on? Are they
and they were coming to
them?"
her store too. Yeah, she had a grocery store. Yeah,
right. And she said, are they she said she didn't ask, but she was wondering, are they deporting them because there's so many? And I said, no, people are looking for something better. Okay, we in the West, we're looking for something different, something better.
It's
where we
prophecy
feel at home.
that will be coming back,
and it is prophecy.
It's prophecy.
And a lot of people on the videos that we've watched before have said that they really felt called to go back to the motherland.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And when you go there, it's not what a lot of people think it is. It's different. It's
so
very
much
different.
better.
It is so much better. It is so much better. Yes, you may not have all of the luxuries that you have in the West,
which
but
you don't
have
need
what
anyway.
you need, and you don't need.
You don't need it.
Like for example, I always give the example. In the West, you may have 10 different choices of toilet paper. There, you may have 2. How many do you really need?
Yeah.
Okay, but my point is, if people do what they need to do, just be welcoming, just be yourselves, because they are amazing people. Just be yourself. People are going to come. It's going to make it better for everyone. Don't be greedy. Don't try to get everything right away. We who are coming back to the motherland, we did not get what we have right away. We worked hard. Okay, we sacrificed. We had to put up with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you feel like when we come to you, you could just take it? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, some of these guys you run up on, they have no conscience at all. I mean, like I say, back to the water sport business, it would have been a great business. This year, right here now, we could have had jet cars and whatnot.
Yes.
I was planning on bringing in a couple of jet cars, and the
It's a great
business would have made money.
Mm-hmm.
He would have made money, but he wanted all right there and then.
And we say he, but that he's not the only. We've heard other stories, because when we tell our story, we heard other people telling their stories, and it's like, basically it's unnecessary, and it's only that way because people are greedy.
And let me just say this too: they didn't only do it to some of us from the West. They did it to their own people. You remember the gentleman I meet downtown?
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
we just met this man. Never met him before ever. We were just shopping around in the town. And I went into a store. Kelly, my husband, stayed outside waiting for me, and people always talk to him. They're drawn to him. And
I started talking to him, and then come to find out, this guy's a chef. He lives in Germany. He's been in Germany working for 41 years in Germany. He sent his money to his brothers and sisters, same mother, same father. They supposed to buy 2 compound. Compound is 2 nice building, and he's supposed to come back, rent one. The other one, he and the family supposed to live in it. Guess what?
Now hold on, not just him and his family. In the West, we look at us, just me.
Yeah, wife and kids,
and your children. That's your family. On the continent, your family
is everybody.
Everybody, your lineage,
mother, father,
great grandmothers, if they're alive,
sisters, if they're cousins, married, cousin, they live there. They own the compound with you.
Yes.
This man got back no compound, no money, nothing. They took the money and they spent it, whatever they did with it, but they didn't even buy him a piece of land. And he told me, when I told him I was in business with this guy, with Kent, he was like, my friend, get out of here. Shut it down. they all crooked. And I'm like, nah. He was like, you gonna, he was telling me, he's like, get out of here. He was like, I'm in a hotel right now.
Yeah.
I don't even talk to my family anymore. He's like, I got to go back to Germany and basically just start all over again.
Yeah.
And
after 41 years.
After 41 years. He was like, I'm in my 50s. What am I supposed to do to make all this money back? He was telling me, and I should have listened. I honestly should have listened. We should have packed up that business and left. But we're like, nah, we'll make it and whatnot. And numerous other stories. Another lady we rented from, she's from the Gambia. She had the same experience. They don't keep one thing. They ain't prejudiced.
Equal opportunity rip off.
They ripping everybody off. I mean, they ain't playing. They ripping everybody off.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed with us too when we go overseas, sometimes we hang out with people overseas. We let them into our circle or into our spree. In the U.S., in the Caribbean, we will never let those type of people into our spree. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we hang out with people. I'm just saying, be nice to everybody. I'm the type of person, we are nice to everybody. But sometimes we let them too close into our circle where we think now all of a sudden we long lost friends, and be careful. Be very careful. And some of the other some of the other people that will rip you off too, is some of them that's from the U.S. or from Great Britain, and they telling you, oh, come, we got land and we'll sell you this, and now you thinking they for you because they from the U.S., they understand, or they from Great Britain, and you just giving them your money.
We never did that, just to be clear.
We never did that.
Because I'm listening to him and I'm like,
yeah, we never did that.
Okay.
But we found out a lot
other people have done
of people did that. Send their money for land, and come to find out the land is way out in the bush, 2 hours from Banjul, from the capital. Way out there with nobody out there, no light, no water, nothing out there, way in the bush.
And could I just say too, the countries in Africa are massive, y'all.
Absolutely.
They are massive. The maps do them no justice. So when you think of the Gambia, for example, if you look at the map, the Gambia looks like a little strip. It is not a little strip.
No, it
is huge. It is huge. So when you think like my husband said,
the Gambia is probably bigger than Florida.
It is.
Yeah, bigger than the state of Florida. But on the map, it looks like
a little strip.
Yeah.
It's massive, but everything is far
away. Yeah.
But with that said, the good part. So we told you the good, the not so good. And then I'm going to sandwich it to make it the good. Just be aware. Just be careful. Have your head on. Behave as if you were in the States. In the States, you would not let your guard down. There's certain things that you're going to double check and triple check.
You won't give strangers you just met a couple of days, a couple of weeks. You won't give them money to go buy you.
So don't do that. And very, very importantly, in the Gambia, although the infrastructure is not developed, the government is. Okay, not as much as it could be, but it is very developed. With that, what I mean by that is they have the department. So if you need to buy land, there is a department. They don't call it Department of Zoning, but that's what it is. Go to them. Go to the head offices. Get your paperwork right. Do things the way it's supposed to be. Get a lawyer. We had an amazing lawyer.
Yes, we had a great lawyer.
Yeah, he was a really good lawyer, and do those things. Take care. Be as diligent as you would be in the States, in the West, because they are those offices. When we first went, the very first time we went, way back, the way things were presented, it kind of made you feel like, no, these things are not really in place. You just gotta, know who you know, and they'll tell you what. That's not true.
No, there's offices in place.
There are offices there.
You're just gonna have to be careful.
Yes.
Again, be very careful when you go there. Take your and not only the Gambia. If you set foot anywhere in Africa, Benin, Ghana, Tanzania,
Seychelles,
Uganda, Seychelles,
anywhere,
take your time.
Yeah.
Okay. You might have to just sit around for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and if you can't afford, my opinion, this is just my opinion, if you can't afford to go to Africa and sit around
You don't need that long though.
For 3 months. I would say at least 3
Yeah.
months. If you can't afford to sit around for 3 months and just
Just
network,
network, learn the land.
learn the land,
Yes.
take your time, look around, price things. If you can't really afford to do that for 3 months with no stress,
Just wait until you can.
wait until you can. I
Yeah.
agree. Wait until you
Wait until
can.
you can.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna lose your money.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
will be ripped off.
Yeah.
Because they see us as a cash cow. They don't understand that we gotta work hard.
They don't care.
And they don't care. Okay, and it ain't only the Gambia. Anywhere you set foot in Africa and you don't do your due diligence, you
You're
will
gonna
be
lose.
ripped off.
You're gonna
It's
lose.
happening in Ghana too. You know,
Yes.
Ghana had a
Yeah.
lot of people lost their money in Ghana,
Yeah.
got scammed in Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Tanzania, a lot of people got scammed in Tanzania. Okay, so I don't want nobody come on here saying to me, "What are you talking about again?" It's all over Africa.
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
Yes. But it's worth the time and effort. It really is.
Absolutely.
Because the
Absolutely.
vibe,
Oh man.
the
way you feel,
yes,
the way you feel,
the air, the food,
the food,
the food,
the atmosphere.
Yes,
You know, the
and the
peace,
food.
the peace.
yes,
Just the peace.
Yes.
And you don't feel like, there's a monkey on your back.
yes,
If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Okay?
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, the Gambia, we were out, but we used to be out, 1 o'clock?
But we're from Miami though, so
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Well, but anyway, it's a safe place.
it is a safe
Although
place, and it's a beautiful place.
Although I said these people got
Yes,
killed there,
yes.
it's still a safe place.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Don't
You
get
just
me
have to be
wrong.
careful
You
because
have to
those
be
people didn't
careful.
get killed randomly. They got killed because they were basically robbed.
They were robbed from
because
people they
had-
knew, people that was
Exactly.
employed, people that they employed.
Exactly.
Okay, people that they
Exactly.
employ and they trusted these
Exactly.
people and they caught them off guard.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's very important to know. It's not like, you walk down the street and somebody's going to hurt you.
No,
It's not
no,
like that.
no,
It's
no,
people
no.
that you take into your confidence and this
You
is what
out
you
there
get.
with them alone. You out there with them alone,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
strike.
So you just got to
Okay.
be careful.
Be on your P's and Q's.
Yes.
If you going somewhere with anybody you employ, make sure somebody else go with you.
And people know where you are.
Where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or have a knife on you, something on you
Yeah.
just in case somebody
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
Okay? But
Yeah.
be very careful. But other than that, like I said, I
It's-
love the Gambia.
Yes. I do too.
Gambia is nice.
Yes.
It's nice. Okay?
All right.
Anything you want to add?
And
to
that's about it.
All right.
It's been great being with you again. Hopefully we'll be back very soon and with more updates.
Absolutely.
All right.
And hey, be good to each other out there.
Yes.
Peace.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.